Question number 3 on the substitution worksheet reads y equals 4x plus 3 and y equals 8x plus 5. And we're supposed to solve the system of equations. Now remember, when we've solved system of equations so far, the only thing we've done, other than seeing this one in the notes today, is we've solved them by graphing. And remember, when we graphed them, what we were finding was the point at which the graphs overlapped, x comma y value, and that was the solution to the system of equations. Well, we're still finding the x comma y value at which the two graphs would overlap, but we're not graphing. All right, we're using methods of calculation here, and this one is the substitution method. So the first rule here when we solve system of equations with substitution is to set one of the equations equal to a lone variable. So you want to make one of them say x equals or y equals. Now as you can see in this particular question, they both already say that. So that saves us a line of work. Once we have that, then we want to substitute in that x equals value or y equals value in for x or y in the other equation. So if I look at this second equation here, it tells me that y equals 8x plus 5. Or in other words, y is the same thing as 8x plus 5. Well, if y is the same thing as 8x plus 5, I can go up there to the other equation and change y into 8x plus 5. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. All right, so when I do that, I have 8x plus 5 equals 4x plus 3. Now this is simply solving an equation with one variable, a process that we've been doing since the start of 7th grade here. We're going to send variables to the left, numbers to the right, and then solve for the variable. So that means I'm going to knock 4x off both sides. Remember, when I move something to the opposite side of the equal sign, I do the opposite. And to save ourselves a line of writing, we'll move 5 at the same time by subtracting 5 from both sides. So when I do that, I have 4x equals negative 2. Well, we're almost there. Now, if you're recognizing here that x is not going to be a whole number solution, that's very astute. That would be correct. When I divide out by 4 here, x is going to yield a result of negative 1/2 or negative 0.5. Now that I have x, now what I'm going to do is what the next step tells me on the sheet to do after I've solved the equation is to plug that value into one of the original equations and find the resulting y. It doesn't matter which equation you pick, the answer will be the same, you just have to pick one. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this top equation here, y equals 4x plus 3. Again, what I'm doing here is I'm going to change x into negative 1/2. Why? Because I just figured out that x is negative 1/2 or negative 0.5. Well, if I change x into negative 1/2 or negative 0.5, now I have 4 times negative 1/2 plus 3 is the same thing as y. Well, that's simple enough. 4 times negative 1/2 is negative 2, and negative 2 plus 3 is going to give me 1. So y must equal 1. Now it's just a matter of me writing my solution. Again, solutions have to be written as x comma y. So negative 1/2 comma 1 is the solution to the system of equations. That's the value that works for x and y in both equations. We'll make the left side equal the right side, or if we graphed it, the point at which these two graphs would intersect is at negative 1/2 comma 1.